No surprise to me, GB, the real collector of L's here on the LEC broadcast. Which, wow, it's in the name. It's sorry, we were playing games earlier today and he got his ass whooped. So it is what it is, but we're not here to talk about those games. We're here to talk about the games in front of us. GIANTX versus Vitality. I'm gonna level with you all at home. This is a weird day of League of Legends. More or less, everything is locked. There's some fighting for positions, but similar to what used to be a 9-week regular season, those last days where there might be an occasional Shaco jungle, we may have games like that today. We're going to take them as seriously as the players take them.
It's a battle of pride.
It is a battle of pride. And this first game does have some small stakes. Obviously, you want to be more in the top 4. GX are still fighting to put themselves in that position, so they don't obviously get to draw, in theory, an easier opponent as we head into playoffs. So this one looking like a more serious one, but over the course of the day, we might get a variety of intensities of League of Legends.
Yeah, I think things might get spicy. For me, Vitality and GX are shaping up to be like close to the top tier, middle of the pack. And for me, if I'm either of these teams, I'd really want to separate myself from the mid tier and kind of claw my way into that top 4 position.
And it's an interesting position for Vitality, excuse me, because I think after week 1, maybe a little bit through week 2, I didn't even think that they would be fighting to get into this top 4 position, but now they are contesting GX. Again, a win will tie them up. They'll end the same record, 5-4, and it would be an interesting downfall inversely from the side of GX, who, coming out of week 1, look like they might be the final boss, and since then have been a bit shaky. Bans looking pretty standard. A little bit of respect paid over to Jack. He's in the form of the Sion ban, but still seeing priority like the Vi, the Skarner, the K'Sante taken away.
And I would even say that Vitality's scoreline is a little bit fake, because a lot of their losses, I think at least 2 of them, were really big throws. Which, of course, it's important skill to be able to close out games. But if you're able to generate really big leads, and if they're then able to work on closing out games, which should be the easy part of that equation, I think they can be a really good team.
I will say, if we look at last year, I think closing out games was the hard part. Hopefully 2025, new year, new us, new LEC.
So you see now Fnatic, when they can suddenly close out games, they look crazy.
That's true. That's the skill you got to build. Okay, so Maokai, pretty conservative first pick here. Response from GX. Fast lock in on the Zyra Corki.
And GX are answering with just range here. This is an interesting pivot. They want to just try to outrange this Maokai, and they'll probably try to draft some disengage on the support or top lane position, or at least someone that can tank the Maokai ulti up. I think Maokai is shaped up to be one of the strongest junglers on the patch, alongside Vi and Skarner. Just that non-committal engage and the fact that it just scales so well into the game. But I really like this Ezreal answer. Kind of just matching the range of the Zyra and the Corki, while also having a good matchup in this bot lane, if the Corki is bot. But probably it's going to be mid to just have a good pairing with the mid jungle.
Does make sense. Taking their time. It will be the Jayce locked in. So fire with fire in the range department, as you highlighted. And this is one situation where the Maokai feels especially good because that range is so long on the ulti. It sets up nicely for the poke comp. It's a great tool to punish over-eager engages. GX maybe adding a bit more melee range firepower. The Mbessa lock-in wouldn't surprise me too much here.
And I'm curious if, like, where does this Jayce go, and if the Mbessa is locked in as well, but maybe they just go for the Leona, which is just, like, Leona is the premier support to play with Zyra because it has just such a good non-committal engage. So you just are able to set up the Zyra very nicely, and it's a champion that's very good at blocking the Maokai ult. So I think it's a really solid pickup here for GIANTX.
Yeah, so many free tanky stats. We enter the second phase now. Bit of a mismatch in terms of what has been locked in thus far. Zyra feels like the only pick that is 100% committed to a role alongside the Leona and the Ezreal. Still some room for flexes here on either side. The Braum will be banned away. Do not want to give the ability to shut down the potential poke. The Rakan too, really setting up for Jun to have a nice time in that bot lane matchup. Going to limit what Hilly can bring to the table.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Lot is going to bring us here. It's probably going to be a top lane last pick for GIANTX. And I feel like he's, at least when I played against him anywhere else, he had a very interesting champion pool. He was willing to bring out champs like the Tryndamere, champions like the Fiora. And I mean, it's the last game of regular season for them, so maybe he wants to get spicy.
Might be time. Look, new patch right around the corner. A lot of this stuff going to reset. What is the angle here? And I'm excited about this top lane matchup, right? I think bot lane will naturally be the focus, as it so often is when you have such explosive bot lanes on both these teams. But Nako versus Lot, 2 players who've had a pretty strong showing in their first split.
So we have No here on the MF, and I'm a big MF merchant. I think the champion is incredibly OP. But in this draft, I'm not the biggest fan of it because it doesn't have the greatest setup for the MF ulti. And I think another pick that he could have went for would be the Jhin, which works much better with the Zyra, as you can always follow up the plants with the W and set her up easily. I think now, kind of for the last pick from Lot, I would like to see some more team fighting wombo combo champs that can set up this Amath, because otherwise she's only relying on the Leona ult, which isn't the most reliable CC for her.
And we saw this in the KC game yesterday, right? If Leona's your only reliable upfront piece of hard CC, you kind of have to fish for fights rather than reliably being able to force them. And that's not a problem that Vitality are going to have. Azir can be that proactive playmaking force with the shuffle. You also have the Maokai as well as the Rell. So a lot of different ways for you to pull the trigger. Is Laure going to be able to balance this out?
I mean, Vitality here are running like the most classic EC front to back. Azir, Maokai, Ezreal, just play the fights well, front to back it.
But you wanted
and we get Sion.
That's committal. That's what I will say. We went from non-committal with the Maokai and Leona to full commitment with the Rell and the Sion as we got later in the draft.
But typically Sion doesn't really want to play into very mobile carries, and they have two very mobile carries, and they have a high DPS mid laner that can easily melt him down. But I understand that when you're looking at the GIANTX comp, you definitely want some beefy frontline, and Sion is the beefiest frontline that I think you can get. But I think the champion struggles against this Vitality composition, but maybe Lot can prove me wrong.
Maybe. I think your initial read was correct, though. This seems like a difficult comp to play MF and Sion.
Yeah, it's hard for Sion to land like much of any CC.
In your mind, you can see what the montage play looks like, and it looks damn good. In my mind, I can see that Ezreal E is...
What's the montage play?
like the Sion hits, he's charging the Q, the CC comes down, and then pushes R. Ah!
Yeah,
It's going to be hype. Let's get in the game. We'll see if we get it. I think it'll be hard to make it happen against so many champions who can blink, walk, movement speed away from a lot of those abilities.
Yeah, and if I'm GIANTX, I really want to try to abuse the jungle tempo lead I will get from this Zyra. Probably the biggest strength of the champion is just how fast she clears jungle camps, which just allows her to finish that full clear at 310. Ooh, but it's going to be a Sion cheese here, I think. Maybe they'll look to go for like a two-wave dive with the Sion after late invading bot.
Man, the more things change, the more they stay the same. This is the BDS Classic.
Yeah.
Saw it in LCK earlier this week as well.
Let's see if Carzzy spots it here, if he gets chunked. Just gets a little Q. So it is going to be just a full split map here, but maybe Vitality wants to fight this.
I got really confused as to what year it was in my old man moment and realized I got 5 gold for spotting the ward. I thought Kleptomancy existed again. Brief second where he hit a Q and got $5, and I was like, what year is it?
They are so split up here. This is a very weird level 1. Usually you 5-man stack in a bush, and enemy 5-man stacks as well, but they're playing on 5 different flanks here.
They're covering all angles at the same time. Some less covered.
Closer's getting chunked.
I mean, the Zyra losing so much HP is a nightmare. Doesn't have the chance to set up plants either. Ideally, you'd really like to be setting up around red, but you don't have that angle.
For GIANTX. As Zyra, you want to set up the plants early so that you can get that super fast jungle clear, but now she's going to be starting her camp with no plants up and super delayed. Oy, oy, oy.
Also,
Maokai's looking for an invade as well.
Yeah, Lyncas is just going to walk in.
Zyra has to drop it all.
That was awful. What? What?
Oh no.
What? And they're going to spot him again. Oh
and
no.
She still has no plants. The biggest part of Zyra's fast jungle clear is that she stands on the buff 1 minute before the jungle camp actually spawns, setting up the plants around her. But when she has to clear a camp with no plants, it takes ages.
And sometimes you outplay your enemy, and sometimes they outplay themselves. GX, I mean, good response from Vitality. Closer finally going to tick level 2. It will get easier now for him to clear a bit faster, and we are going to be in a split map situation. Potentially a dive that will have to be respected as Noah and Jun are still level 1. But a very bizarre level 1. Also, Lot TPing back to the top side. I was ready for some lane swap shenanigans with the Sion locked in, but we have standard lanes, albeit with a massive deficit for Closer at the start.
Yeah, I think what GIANTX really wanted was just to have like a standard split map where Sion could dive bot lane on the second wave. But Vitality played well, they played slow, they get the poke, and GIANTX kind of panic at the last second and just decide to drop it. And now I'm curious to see how does this Zyra bounce back, as she kind of lost the biggest strength of this champion in the early game.
And Vitality are really determined to track closer. You can see Nako had push on the top side of the map, walks all the way back into his own jungle just to see if there are any camps for Lyncas to be able to take, just to see if they can catch closer out as he tries to maintain the split map. This is going to be a huge advantage for Lyncas. He hasn't even started his own red buff yet. Don't know if he's going to want to fight for the Scuttle Crab. The answer is yes. Mid-wave relatively even.
Jacky's has first move from mid here.
Zyra not going to really be too threatened.
Jacky's?
Jackie's still trading with Czajek, keeping them both low, stopping either of them really from joining on the play, but Jackie's definitely gets the worst end of that trade. Has the biscuit he can pop. Will do so.
Oh, Jacky's?
Falcon.
Jacky's?
Poked by Sand Soldiers. Awkward. Flash, flash.
Ooh, so he flashed and then W's to get the soldier up, because if he just does a normal auto attack, he doesn't kill. But Jacky's reacts with the flash.
Close exchange. Flash for flash now.
But Closer might be able to steal Raptors here. He's kind of clawing himself back into the game. He also got the Scuttle Crab.
Not a bad situation. That's Yuumi with a gun.
Oh, we got a fist fight.
Thank you for coming. You paid to be here, and I already feel like we're the ones that should be paying you. Hylissang gets taken out. Carzzy, though, the 2v2. Noah, the battle, the autos, the Q still connecting from Carzzy. Noah.
Carzzy!
Just getting dizzy. Carzzy manages to make the play happen. Yuumi with the gun, not what we should have been focused on. Carzzy with the Ezreal, much more threatening.
I mean, this is a disaster for GIANTX bot lane here. The wave state also, I think, looked good for Vitality, and the Ezreal just getting ahead here is just a nightmare for this GIANTX composition.
This is going to be miserable. Again, we talked about how difficult it will be for them, you know, to set up the kind of the dream combo you're looking for here. Still, obviously the MF can be strong in a lot of situations, can get the Bloodthirster first. There's a lot of reasons to pick this champ. It's not just the ulti.
It's a good swap here from GIANTX though, because the bot wave is really bad. So they just want to try to lane out of it and put the Sion against Ezreal. Let's see this 2v2 though. So Jun has to waste his W, and that's why he's so squishy here, and he can actually go down. And then Noah wants to return the kill, but MF in these long extended fights, very weak early game, as she doesn't get to utilize her passive at all. Carzzy does a good flash into the bush to drop vision, but would have still won it even without it, I think, because he was so much higher HP.
I respect the face of absolute concern there. We have seen enough Vitality bot lane 2v2s to know it could go either way. Lyncas walking into Jackie's, does not want to get pulled into the tower, so won't be too quick there on the trigger to use the Twisted Advance.
Although one positive for GIANTX here is the jungle department. Zyra is actually not really behind at all, up 5 CS and 50 gold. And they do have first position here on Grubs.
And this is credit to Closer for being able to claw himself back from that position. Jun.
Oh, Hilly might be in trouble.
Nice backstep here. Hilly will be in trouble. Shattering Strike interrupts the initial play. Still has Aftershock, crucially, but the second Q coming in from Sion will get the job done while GX start the Grubs.
And Lyncas just went in 1v2 on the Grubs and had to flash out. This is an extremely disjointed Vitality here. So you're kind of getting outplayed all over the map.
This is a very weird game of League of Legends. It is 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Vitality absolutely got everything they wanted off the level 1, and then got kills in the bottom lane. And then it got weird, and Maokai went in when he shouldn't have got in, when they didn't really have prio, and Hilly died mid lane. So we're even again, but one team has 3 Grubs. You like that? You like how I just repeated what happened?
You added color to the game.
Yeah, you like that? What do you want more of? I'll talk about it.
Carzzy.
You want to talk more about Carzzy?
Yeah.
Handsome. Talented.
I was thinking in-game, but...
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm not ready for that. That's your job. I'm just here to do your job.
Funny.
Funny. Entertaining.
Yeah.
Going mid. Will have mid prio. Level 5. About to be level 6. Don't really know what GX are going to do about this. I guess they'll keep Jackie's here. That's the vision. Credit to Jackie's going against the mold. He has also picked the Corki skin. The Corki skin. But has picked a different chroma.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying. It's little things. You know?
Oh. I mean, this is a very interesting lane setup here, though, with Jackie's and Jun laning on mid and MF alone against his...
Carzzy. Oh. In trouble. Ulti. Not going to hit.
Curious to see if they get the Drake off of this chunk. Azir has first move from both, but Carzzy definitely has to recall. A really good kind of bounce back from GIANTX here after this horrendous early game.
Yeah, a bit of overconfidence in mid lane from Carzzy. Most certainly. Lot gonna ult, go for the all-in. Nice flash from Nako. Lot in trouble now. Hammer form going in, waiting as long as he can. On the E, trying to get the knockback. Full channel Q.
Why is
A little bit of extra
healing?
damage. Why are they just continuing to fist
Why is he getting you plus 27 every second? What is happening? Why am I seeing plus 27 every second? What was that? That was just biscuit healing or what?
Yeah. Someone call Babas. The thing happened.
Bro, that was...
They did the thing.
That was disturbing.
Solo bolo. Look.
But if I thought he was just inting. I'm like, oh, he's ulting in, but Jayce has flash.
I thought he ulted in, Jayce flashed, and that would be the end of it. And
but he just kept healing.
Sion is a math equation that most people just don't understand, and apparently I'm a part of the people that don't understand it.
I think that was a biscuit math equation. I'd love to replay it, just see the biscuit.
Also, like, the lore is really, like, do zombies eat biscuits? That just doesn't even make any sense.
Well, he's only a zombie when he dies, no?
Well, isn't he all... It's too deep for me, I don't know. There's too many layers there.
Tanks are broken.
We get Necret, he'll explain it. Yeah, for us, tanks are broken. And we've been waiting forever to see tanks in the top lane. I just didn't expect it to look like this. And this is the point where I think Nako's lane becomes unplayable.
So here we'll see it. Like, look at this healing. Plus 29, plus 29, plus 34, plus 29. What? What? It's like he has a Warmogs.
Shield. Okay. Auto. Max health damage.
Why is he
Armor already
healing
shredded
so
from
much?
Lord of the Slayer.
Doesn't it look so wrong?
He has like 50 gajillion minions, but Lot's just not autoing him.
It looks so wrong. See that?
All I'm saying is, pro teams will walk away from this game and will not say we should pick Sion. They'll say Jayce should have played better.
Yeah.
But I think the lesson for all of us is that maybe it's just time to pick tanks.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway. The game continues.
Yeah, this is a very... Sion is now mid, and
Yeah,
Noah's
he's
in
perplexed.
river.
I don't think they can get the Sion out of lane.
The whole lane assignment situation here from Jayce is very strange. Noah's just running back and forth in river here. I think they really want this
Both
grab.
are getting poked.
Nako
Nako.
flash.
E-flash, Zenith Blade, follow up with the ulti from Leona as well. Closer might be in trouble. Decent damage getting down, but they can't really follow. So GX are going to grab yet another kill.
And now we have a grub fight here, but it's a 4v5. Junkies has TP.
Ulti coming in for the Sion. Nice layering in CC, but they only able to catch out Hylissang. Closer relatively low, but only the Maokai will hit. Now finally the ulti from Noah, but they just walk away. That was the problem we talked about early on. Good pushback. Instant follow-up. The arcane smash. Lyncas and Czajek. A quick pick onto Jackies.
What is happening in this game? They're just sitting in river, and then there's a fight happening, and then Jackies just desperately wants to kill Hylissang. So he goes in so deep and gets Azir ulted back into tower, and now it's 3 grubs from Vitality. This is definitely the weirdest game we've cast.
Even game.
It's an even game, yeah.
Even game. 300 gold separates them. Grubs for grubs. The warfare feat completed from GX. We'll see who's able to get the objective or the tower.
Yeah.
What I will say is we did see one of the problems we talked about in draft was when Noah ults, Vitality will just dash/walk away.
Yeah, you could see it there. He doesn't really have at all the setup that he really needs to get a good MF ulti up. And at best, he did like 50 damage to Hilly there and a tiny bit to Carzzy, but it's just so hard against these mobile champs without having like a wombo combo setup champ on his own team.
Yeah, it's a difficulty. Leona, obviously the non-committal strength, or non-committal CC, her big strength, as we see here, is Nako's been caught out a little bit.
Though.
Relatively tanky. Hilly there to cover. Nice side steps. Swaps back to cannon form. Those are not going to follow up. But the downside is you can't lock up multiple targets in the same way that a Rell could, same way that an Alistair could.
Yeah. Although Rell is definitely the premier option. Vitality ended up being able to take that away. Although Leona was picked first, but...
I mean, Leona, very strong. Lots of damage.
Yeah.
Lots of free tanky stats.
I'm more critiquing the MF pick rather than the other picks. Because I think when you're picking on second phase, it's your job to really adapt. And I think, in my head, there would be other picks that suit this draft better. But at the same time, when you get the BT finished on the MF, you're able to tank up a lot of the poke, and you can lifesteal it back up. So if you are playing the team fights well, and you have nice cocky movement, as Noah has shown he can have, then you're able to get a lot of work done just through auto attacks and your Qs. But
mounting up, Jackie's immediately getting
flash.
ultied. Hilly helping his team secure that kill. That was for a ward. They sat there for 30 seconds fighting about that ward. Carzzy may be in trouble now.
What?
Lots full committing here as Hylissang just kind of dashes over him. The crash down out.
What is happening? He just died for a ward and then... I don't know.
You know what's interesting?
What?
Is I've cast this game for a gajillion years now, and there's always something to be surprised about. And this game is crazy.
Oh, Carzzy might fish it. Puts a ward down.
A lot hiding in a brush. Tried and true tactic for the champ and the region.
Azir's getting 4 plates on top tower here.
He might be able to get the feet.
I think Corki will be able to defend, but...
Oh, GX are just going to get it. All right, this should be the 3rd objective for GX now, which means they will get the feats of strength, the extra.
That's the first tower. They don't have the feats of strength. Oh, they do have the feats of strength.
They have the 3 objectives and the first of 3 kills.
Okay. Yeah, that feels pretty good for GIANTX. Definitely kind of like a consolation prize for the fact that they're down quite a bit in gold.
They are down a bit, and I think Carzzy is going to be a problem, because I don't really know who kills Carzzy on this GX team.
Yeah.
If Jackies can't 1v1 him, this is a montage team. Like,
Czajek,
everyone is a bit immobile, a bit slow.
Czajek now is also up a full level of getting the solo XP and getting the top plates. And the carries on Vitality's side are going to be really scary in fights.
Nako also Black Cleaver completed now, will be a bit tankier, a bit more comfortable in that 1v1 matchup, even in the face of an unending despair. And see what the poke looks like from this team, especially.
They are going to be playing for top tower here, but GIANTX want to match it. You might just be able to finish it in time. Azir has so much pressure, he's even denying the minions a little bit.
Once again,
puts on tower of his own.
So the game starts, to recap, for those of you just joining us, with a disastrous level 1 for GX. They're able to bring it back, closer with some smart pathing, some plays going in their favor despite a 2v2 for Vitality's bot lane. And while they are ahead in objectives, Vitality are massively ahead in gold, despite Lot also getting a solo kill.
Yeah. And I think, for me, GIANTX, kind of how they... Oh,
Jun committing, both aftershocks procced now. Noah taking his time here. Ulti comes out from closer. Lot.
Just wanted to say hi and take the wave.
Just wanted to sneak into mid lane, getting mid prio for the team before returning to bot lane. Looking to leverage his advantage elsewhere on the map. And also, they are going to lose tower for that.
Jun wants to go again here.
Jun is full committed. Well, the thing is, they're losing bot lane tower. They need to make something happen. Noah's ult isn't doing anything because they simply walk away. Jun, one more Ando going to finish the job, and now Carzzy is He's forced to flash out. Lyncas needs to be ready to body block if necessary. Tower will drop in the bottom lane, and Vitality just keep getting richer.
Vitality are just toying with GIANTX here. They have their mid laner top and their top laner bot, while GIANTX are going 5 people mid, and they're still the ones ending up with the kill advantage. And GIANTX just look desperate.
Very odd sequence. I think the second Lot committed the ulti into mid, I guess Jun felt like they had to make a play, knowing that had already lost bottom lane tower at that point. Even if he did walk back immediately or TP back, they probably wouldn't have been able to stop the take. So GX will get the Herald. That is the good news. They do have mid control. They are able to send Sion down to stop anything else from happening to the tier 2. What they do with it is the big question, because they are falling further and further behind. Ezreal closer to that 2-item spike. Being essentially a full item behind on mid and AD in the next fight is going to be devastating for GX.
This is a level 6 Leona. Azir is level 12. She is not tanky right now. She's having a tough time starting anything. You can also see in the gold department, Hylissang has finished his locket, while Leona's sitting on just components.
And still opted for Blood Song, right?
I mean, that's what everybody goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's strong in terms of damage output, but I feel like
they just tell me it's broken.
When you're level 6.
I mean, you could pick something to be tankier, yeah. A little celestial opposition.
Maybe that's cooking too much, though. Nothing wrong with staying with what's comfortable.
It's okay, you're a pro player. You can do what feels nice, can't you? Just do what's comfortable, buddy.
You say that, but I know you. You're probably a guy who cares about the math, and you've probably flamed so many pros for their builds over the years.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate, like, the most tilting thing is when somebody buys, like, I remember because people would buy Collector over LDR when LDR just did more damage, and it tilted me so hard. Like, oh.
But dopamine, it's the heart steal problem.
Yeah.
X to the execution feels good. Trumps all logic. Noah getting chunked a bit with the Bloodthirster again, allowing him to sustain that pressure mid lane. They sadly cannot break the mid lane tower.
And GIANTX are just not choosing to push out side waves here. You can see Lot, instead of pushing out this top wave, is choosing to just flank on mid here. Let's see if he gets something. I'm not a huge fan of GIANTX macro. They're just A-ramming it.
I mean, this is a hard force. Vitality really can't take their time. Jun gonna try to go in on Lyncas. All of GX full committing here. Lot not really in a position to follow. Ulti now going to be used. Jackie's isolated. Nako instantly goes in. GX determined to make something happen. But so far all that's happened is that they've fallen further and further behind. The play continues. Vitality know they can just keep going. Hylissang, good ult to interrupt. Jud taken down as well. Closer's ult not going to have any effect. This game, brutal. Again, of all the games today, this is one where two teams are fighting for top four. Czajek trying to make the play happen. Has to flash to the side. Noah's ult zoning him away.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the MF ulti is just never going to have great value in this game with how the two team compositions are constructed. But for me, GIANTX are playing quite peculiarly, because normally in this sequence, when Drake is spawning in 1 minute, you want your side laners to push out and then move. And Sion was on top wave, but chooses instead to walk all the way to mid and leave top neutral. And that way, you don't have a numbers advantage. This is just an equal numbers fight. And Jackie's is in no man's land, desperately wanting to kill this Maokai. And all of GIANTX's attempts just look very desperate. And I really want to point out, though, Hylissang, how he's playing mechanically this game, canceling the Sion Q again and again and again, and you'll see it here, makes these fights so much easier for his team to play.
Yeah. Able to find the picks there. Now Otacon has spawned, or is about to spawn, excuse me, 2 seconds. Unsurprisingly voracious, hungry boy.
Yeah, and I want to see GIANTX relax, take a deep breath, push out side lanes, and fight with a numbers advantage with Sion ulting. I feel like right now they're just over-forcing too much, and they're playing right into Vitality's hands.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if they're gonna get that opportunity. They're 4K gold down. Czajek has 2 completed items. Jayce poke is starting to hurt. Carzzy poke is certainly hurting at 2 items. I don't...
Yeah, it's a
I think that
situation.
window of opportunity might have closed. I think you're just going to be behind on side lanes for the most part.
Yeah, on the bright side though, I do think still Zyra and Sion are very strong.
Yeah, true.
And it's still like you don't have armor penetration or magic penetration on neither Czajek or Carzzy. So I don't think the Sion is going down easily. And I think if you're able to start a good fight, those 2 champions can still carry. But the poke from Vitality is deadly, and trying to face check into this Otacon position that Vitality has built up here should be really difficult.
Bot lane needs attending. No one from the side of GX will be there, however, so this is about 300, 400 gold that is just going to disappear off the map. Vitality happy to match, knowing that they're the ones benefiting. Another wave is also going to be crashing in. Lot finally recalling, but will get interrupted. That's devastating.
GIANTX are just losing waves here. They're going to be pushed in mid as well, and Vitality will push in top. They're getting pushed on all 3 lanes here.
And GIANTX, again, we talked about some of the struggles of the composition, but this is a game where the coordination outside of a few moments just has not been there for a team that looks so dominant, so confident in week 1. This is a surprisingly scattered performance.
I think they should try to enter through mid. I think trying to enter in this choke in top here is suicide against this poke comp. But maybe it's too little too late as Closer gets chunked out. They've already started Otacon.
They're wrapping.
They're entering through mid now. I think this could work for GX.
Well, I want to start thinking this that wall is a little bit annoying. Makes it really hard for Lot to play this fight from any significant range.
Hilly has a great flank.
Hilly ready to go over, but isn't going to overcommit. Vitality, again, I think pretty comfortable playing this slow. As long as they don't get hit by the Wombo combo, they're not under too much threat. Lyncas, nice long-range ult, hiding it as long as possible. Only going to catch up 1. Good discipline from GX. Only a single member caught out.
But Vitality are the ones getting the poke. GIANTX are not able to return any of it.
6K, objective still leashed by the plant there. It'll start to get lower. Now trying to zone Carzzy away, forcing an early E. Maybe they can start to follow up the shutdown instantly. Noah, now out of the fight, he hasn't even gotten to do anything. Finally, the ult will come down, trading a few kills back, but Nako's completely untouched. Lot is dead. Carzzy trying to find the ult on the Jun, and it will connect. Vitality, a pretty effortless fight. Some blood drawn. Yes, GX find a kill, but it costs them just about everything.
And Vitality are just getting everything. They're just able to poke them down, play it slow, and it looks hopeless for GIANTX. And Carzzy might even be able to cheese him here.
Auto.
And you see he Qs there at the end to get the Triforce proc so that the last auto kills him. Very clean from Carzzy there.
Respectable. A little bit of a delay on taking the Otacon as well to make sure they have as much timing with the buff as possible. Lots of small...
A lot here. You can see how desperate he is trying to find anything. But they just get kited and ran down. It just looks unplayable, Drakos.
Completely. I mean, again, it's Ezreal 2-item power spike. The Jayce has Black Cleaver with the W, the Hyper. Bam, bam, bam. You've already shredded through a ton of that armor. Unending Spare, not the best armor item. Not what it was in terms of armor in the previous split. And right now, Vitality are obliterating GX.
Yeah.
And
however, if there is a team that has thrown 6,000-7,000 gold leads, that's been Vitality. But for me, when I ask myself that question, the answer of the drafts really starts to pop up, where this GIANTX draft I think is so hard to execute, and it also just has two pieces that I really don't think fit in, the Sion and the MF. To me, they stand out like a sore thumb, and they don't fit the identity of the other three champions, and it just makes a comeback for GIANTX look so difficult, because if you're an MF and you're behind, ideally your plan is, oh, I just need my teammates to find a good angle and I'll get a good ulti, and then I'll be useful.
Yep.
But you don't have teammates that can set yourself up for that, then and you can't even walk up to auto attack.
No.
Where's the value?
So the false life buff is there. And again, while I think GIANTX have made some mistakes, have looked scattered, Vitality have been incredibly disciplined, especially around that Otacon setup. So credit to them, because some of those games that you talked about that did fall away from them, it was those moments where they weren't all on the same page, where the recall timings weren't quite synced, where maybe someone wasn't where they needed to be. But in this game, I feel like they know that they're stronger, know they have the stronger composition, so they know they don't have to over-force.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that in Vitality, it kind of rides and dies with Hilly. I feel like when Hilly is having a good, clean game where he's kind of more chill, like this one, they're very disciplined. Whilst when Hilly just wants to go for everything, I feel like that they usually start to kind of fall apart and become less cohesive. Oh, Czajek
looking to make the play. Instantly gets locked up and will die. But it's a false life. Really wanted to shuffle.
TP here.
Respect, Locke committing, but it's just a false life. They're trying to get a bit more gold out of this. Again, every kill with a false life does give you 200 gold back. Carzzy
getting poked down.
I mean, the thing is, no one can touch Carzzy. They just used all their CC. The roofs have missed. Carzzy just gets to do whatever he wants. He gets to have a field. They will have to back up for a brief moment. Noah does manage to find a nice ulti, only onto one, but it might be enough. Jun isolated, forced to flash away from Naak. Nako, he's on a rampage now. Knocked behind in the 1v1, but knocking people out as we get later in the game.
And even though this fight looked decent for GIANTX, it's still so difficult as the members of Vitality just do so much damage. The Jayce EQ doing half of Leona's HP, and they're on to Nash.
Easy setup. Closer not on a great champ to try and steal this. Still can go for the 50-50. The vision is there from the side of Vitality. Lot active on the map now, but doesn't have a T because of the earlier play. Closer low health bar. He can't walk up anymore. There's no hope. A single shock blast hits him and he goes down. Baron taken.
Wow.
This is not the game I was expecting.
There kind of goes the little hope I had for GIANTX, because now I think if Vitality, they can even play 3 lanes here because they have so much mobility on their carries.
Canceled. Oh, that's not good.
So I could see Vitality can either go the safe route, in which case they just play mid and top here and play for these 2 inhibs, or if they want to get a little bit more spicy, they could play 3 lanes with Jayce on bot lane and Azir on top lane, and the bot lane and jungle around mid lane. But it looks like they're just going to play the safe option with the 2 lanes. And I think Vitality is going to break inhibs here and break open the game. But Hilly, oh, flash Q doesn't miss.
Hilly, committing. They do get Closer's flash and his ultimate, which will make the upcoming siege a little bit easier. Work. Now, Vitality, it looks like the setup is, to your earlier point, top and mid, bot lane left unattended by both lineups.
If GIANTX can hold and not lose inhibs, game winnable. If lose 2 inhibs, game kind of GG.
I appreciate how concise that was. Yeah, simple. You might have missed 1 or 2 of the words that connected that together, but you really got the point across.
Sometime less word do trick.
Ooga booga. Thank you, Caveman Jack. I appreciate you. Yeah. Sometimes gold do trick, however, and Vitality have lot gold, so not lot top laner though.
They're holding onto this top tower quite nicely, actually. Not sure why Hilly is on mid. It's a bit strange, this setup
taking
from
their time.
Vitality
I mean,
here.
look, they have a cannon minion here. I don't think GX can walk up to poke. Lyncas is waiting, hoping to bait him in. Nako and Hylissang there's 2 waves of pressure. Lyncas just waiting to throw an ulti out if they do decide to contest. But if they only get tier 2s on the last minute of this Baron, that's rough.
Yeah.
Stun goes in. Hylissang locked up. Ulti from Noah canceled.
Oh, locked face walls. The side ulti.
I need normal Jack back. Use the connecting words. Make it clear. Jackie's unable to defend, however. GX trying to go for the proactive engage there, knowing they need to collapse on one of the lanes. They try to make something happen mid lane. It doesn't work, and they fall further behind. And sadly, that's been the story of the entire game for GIANTX. Everything they have tried to do has turned against them outside of a top lane 1v1 for Lot.
And Vitality just broke open the game. Drakos. Now you can see Hilly also down to that bot side. He's going to push that wave in alone. Hilly knows we're going to play for triple inhib, guys. We're going to make this a clean, free win. And this poke is just doing so much damage. It's just a matter of time before the game explodes for GIANTX, I'm afraid.
Yeah, tower will fall. 3rd inhibitor will fall. If through some miracle, maybe it's Jackie's. Jackie's trying to go 1v1 with Czajek. Nice flashback safety. Jackie's creates 1-for-1. Actually, not too bad. May delay the what's feeling like an inevitable end, but with 3 inhibitors down,
the Nash buff is out.
If they reset
play
and just
safe
group.
here. But Carzzy thinks, I think they could just play for the end, but you already kind of have the game won, so better safe than sorry, I suppose.
The good news is you are getting more items, more gold when you knock inhibitors down like this. You can't end the game. You're funneling a lot of resources into GX. The super minions are going to be worth a lot. But again, it's a 12k gold league. Like,
yeah. I don't think those minions are going to give 12k worth of gold.
Like, League of Legends is a weird game because, like, when you play Valorant, right? Like, you can, against the best player in the world, sometimes headshot them and win the game. But, like, 12-0 Zed, you know, gold player versus FLICKR at 0-12, FLICKR probably still doesn't win that, you know?
Snowballing.
Snowballing. At a certain point, you are just stronger. You can just beat people with your wallet. And that is the position Vitality in. And on top of that, they're playing much better.
Yeah. And have a better comp, too.
So what we're saying is the odds are really stacked against GX. And in the world of caster narrative, there's only so much I can try to sell you on a comeback before it becomes completely inauthentic. I think we've crossed that threshold.
Okay, now let's think, how would GIANTX get the comeback? We need to see a crazy Leona ult, into a crazy Zyra ult, into a crazy Sion ult, I think.
All of which have to start with someone on Vitality making a big mistake, I think.
Yeah, for sure. They need to stack up 5-man or 4-man. 4-man's good enough. And get hit by all of the spells all at once. Let's see if they can do it.
Jun starting the fight. Hourglass used. Now going in. Czajek might go down. Noah's still sitting for an extra moment, but no. Vitality too damn strong. They're killing everybody in the process. They've taken out the towers. Jackie's running for his life. Hilly wants that final kill, and he'll give his life for it. Vitality tying up GX, ending the split at 5-4.
And for me, this was a game where both teams looked a little bit lackluster in the early game, but then Vitality just took it away. A better draft, a better plan coming into this game, and just looked way more cohesive and way better overall.
Every sloppy mistake the GX made, Vitality were in a good position to punish. Credit to them for finding those angles. GX back to the drawing board. They already qualified for playoffs. It's not the end of the world. But of course, you can vote for your key player of the game at X, or at LEC on X, excuse me, Nako, Carzzy, Hylissang. All good options.
Yeah. I think maybe Hilly. Maybe not Nako, to be honest.
He did get solo killed.
He did get solo killed, but that was disgusting. That was in plus 29, plus 30. That was not normal.
You're taking.
Like, you can't blame him for that. How is that normal? The Sun suddenly had ocean soul. It was.
I've never seen one man get so much out of a biscuit. Why did that look like a 5-course meal? Why is my man full health?
That's what I'm saying.
After this, Laure will be speaking with the victorious Carzzy, and Odoamne is going to talk about Hylissang, about everything he's gotten away with this week. After the break, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
He doesn't like that.
look at him. He's a good boy, but he don't like that.
Maybe we could play some A rounds or something like that. I mean, it's a new map, right? New towers, new objectives.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh.